Hey everyone, Max here, coming in with a little bit of a preface for this upcoming video review featuring the Hyundai Palisade. I've already tested out this vehicle, which is exactly why I'm making this introduction and this upcoming video. I've been fortunate enough to do this for nearly 2 years now, over 2 years now, and I'm kind of ready to make a change, not in the way that I'm bored or I'm spoiled and I just don't really appreciate my situation, but I just personally don't feel all that fulfilled creating videos for you twice a week. And I shouldn't really strictly say for you. I've always wanted to do this for myself. There's a long story of how I got into this car world, but perhaps I'll save it for a different time. I want to primarily ask of you to critique this upcoming video as much as you possibly can. For the hundreds of you that watch my videos frequently that might not leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you, and the people that consistently lay down a comment each time I make a video, I would really appreciate to hear your thoughts as well. I'm just ready for a change, make the style a little bit different, create a more energetic video, and so that's what I believe I've done here today. But of course, I'd like to hear from you as well. Thanks for watching and listening to me ramble for a couple minutes. Enjoy the video. So if you're in a market for an SUV that is very good at carrying stuff, whether the kind of stuff comes along with people or takes the form of the person itself, you need a larger SUV, the mid-size or full-size categories, to accommodate all of those needs. Then I present to you the new 2020 Hyundai Palisade, one of my favorites in this category. Yeah, that's really how I pronounce Hyundai, alongside most British people and the UK marketing team of Hyundai as well. So if that really bothers you, sign out of this video now. But for those of you that want to watch and find out more about this Palisade, why not consider subscribing as well? Hyundai's Palisade is either an 8-seater or 7-seater SUV with one engine between its 4 different trim levels. Those of you that are out there looking for a mid-size SUV with all-wheel drive will simply have to option it up on the base trim, but the remaining 3 will have all-wheel drive as standard equipment. From there, just narrow down what equipment you're looking for and what Palisade fits within your budget. The penultimate trim, known as the Luxury or the Ultimate Top trim, are the Palisades that come with the 7-seater configuration, an option on the Luxury, standard on the Ultimate. It's a very convenient car to own if you're off for dinner with yourself and 6 of your friends in your social circle, but there's somehow another member, that really annoying individual that always wants to invite themselves out to your events. You can comfortably say that I will drive and leave them in the dust. The interior accommodates adults in all seats remarkably well. 6-footers can be happy in the first and second row. Third row accommodation will be possible for a short period of time. The third row of seats can be lowered with a touch of a button that you'll find in the boot space, as well as the second row of seats as well. But standard equipment for the Palisade includes the one-touch operation for the second row seats. This will be fantastic for kids to get in and out of the third row without assistance from the parents. You can spec your Palisade to come with a few different materials on the seats. The entry level gets cloth seats, further up gets this leather, and then in the top trim, Napa leather appointments. But the differences that I think are the most critical between the cloth and the leather are the thigh extension that you can get on the leather seats. Not currently available for the cloth, although I am a big fan of the cloth seats. They feel just as comfortable as these seats do, but if you're a tall driver like me, seeing thigh extenders in the driver's seat is a godsend. Anybody that's a loyal customer of the big and tall shops will look at this as a must-have feature. A cavernous space under the collection of climate control buttons, the gear selector and other driving modes is the perfect space to store a handbag. The reasonable space in the door cards and center console with a pair of cup holders that are cleverly integrated to this whole center console arrangement show that the cabin of the Palisade has been really well thought out. Pockets behind the front row seats show that there's even more space to hide away items, and some neatly placed USB plugs. Standard technology in the base level Palisade includes the heated front seats, the heated leather wrapped steering wheel, 18-inch rims and 7 USB ports. Some of the other features features include the standard 8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and honestly, I think that screen size is big enough. When you move up into this model with the 10.3-inch screen, it doesn't offer much more. It just fills in this black plastic surrounds a little bit more. So if you hate black plastic, great, that's taking away some space and putting some screen real estate in there. But otherwise, I don't think you need to upgrade to the larger screen. The long list of active safety tech like the lane keeping assist, high beam assist, rear occupant alert, adaptive cruise control, and forward collision warning. In the luxury, that previous list of equipment also comes along with a power tailgate, LED headlights, a laminated glass for the windscreen, ventilated front seats, more leather-wrapped surfaces, sunshades in the rear, a 7-inch digital instrument cluster, the 10.3-inch widescreen, 20-inch rims, and an auto-leveling rear suspension system. To go further up in the Palisade, more leather surfaces, a suede headliner, and a wireless phone charger are among some of the other components that help add to that top trim's price tag. The latest generation of Hyundai's active safety equipment is amongst the best I have encountered in an economy brand and a premium brand of lately. Combination of the lane keeping assist and the radar assisted cruise control can leave hands-free driving for the longest amount of time that I have encountered. I've been able to hit the 2-minute mark on the highway a couple times with this system, so hands-free use if you ever need to get something that's fallen into the footwell or maybe unscrew a water bottle cap. I have the confidence in this system that it'll take care of me and itself on a highway drive. Of course, at that 2-minute mark, all of those systems will disengage and you'll have to grip onto the steering wheel again to retake control. The Hyundai Palisade has a 3.8-litre naturally aspirated V6. It has 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque with automatic stop-start technology. To most people, and including myself, those numbers seem quite small for a mid-size SUV that weighs over 4,400 pounds. However, there's a lot of motivation from this Attribution cycle V6 to get the Palisade moving. I'm impressed with the consistency of power throughout the rev range and how the 8-speed automatic transmission is always very reactive, very snappy. The steering is nicely set. It's not too light, not feeling like it's over boosted at all, but I really appreciate just the consistency again. It always feels like the steering is matched up perfectly for a vehicle this size. Yeah, it's not meant for communication and utmost feel of the road surfaces, but the suspension is compliant enough and honest in the way that if it goes over a bit of rough pavement, you can feel the wheels chatter up and down a little bit. And again, despite its size, when it comes to parking or just general maneuverability, with the great visibility in every single direction, the Palisade doesn't feel as large as a lot of its American counterparts. Adding on to the point about parking the Palisade, it doesn't actually feel, again, that big. Here we have the 360-degree camera in this luxury model, so yes, that's helping us out a bit, but it doesn't feel like a necessary piece of technology. Last time I drove the Palisade, it strictly had the one-view rear-view camera, and that was always enough to park up in a perpendicular or parallel spot very sensibly. And finally, the Palisade has a split dynamic between two sets of driving modes. You have on-road and terrain modes. For on-road, you have comfort, eco, sport, and smart, doing the typical things that we would expect out of any other eco or sport mode. Eco numbs the throttle a bit, tries to shift gears as quickly as it can, or I should say as early as it can in the rev range, while Sport will want to hold on to those gears a little bit longer and give you a more alert throttle. You can always change the gears if you wish, and then hitting the button to switch into terrain, you'll go from snow, mud, and sand. You'll see a few different color and pattern shifts in the 7-inch digital instrument cluster. So when it comes to the subject of looks, I could not stand the look of this Palisade when I first saw it in pictures. I thought it was hideous, but now living with it, I have to admit to you, I am quite a fan of this styling. The thin LED lights that are also the indicators, and the very unique daytime running light element that comes from the top element into the down element is really unique. I can't think of another car that does this successfully. Of course, we've got the massive grille that will change around with the different styles of whatever trim level you go with. Coming round to the back, again, we'll see a little bit more of the chrome, but with the stacked tail lights, they look good in either LED format or the standard halogen format of which you see in this car. So that concludes everything I want to say about the Hyundai Palisade. If you're in this segment, I thoroughly believe that with its well thought out interior, unique styling, and just overall really compelling driving characteristics, that the Hyundai Palisade is a segment leader. Whether you're going for this car or its fraternal twin, the Kia Telluride, a car that you can find on my channel elsewhere, I don't think you're going wrong with this choice. So that's been everything here from me. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.